Hello everyone and welcome to the Genie tutorials. Today we are going to talk about an array. If we have different items or different elements of the same type, like all numbers or all student names or all car names or colors or book titles, and we want to display them or access them or use their information using one variable, then we need to use an array. So instead of defining several variables with different values, like variable 1 equal 3, variable 2 equal 4, variable 3 equal 60, instead of that we can use all of them or put all of the values in one variable and just change the location of the index. We will see an example. So the first example, if we have an array of numbers and we can choose any variable name. In this case, we call it array no, to refer to an array of number. Then we have the equal sign. We have the opening bracket and the closing brackets to put the array element in between the brackets. And at the end of the array, we have the semicolon. Now, if we have different elements like 22, 33, 44, 55, 66, and so on. Now, the separation between the array element, we use the comma to separate the array elements. So at the end of the array or at the end of any JavaScript statement, we use the semicolon, but between the array, we use the comma. Okay. Now, if we want to print those array elements, let's say we want to print the values of those array. So we will say array number of 0. And let's see. Now let's change the color of the text from here. And again, so we can see that it is 22. If we change this to be 1, then it should be 33. So the array or the first element of the array start at index 0 and the end is the n minus 1. So if it is an array of 5, then the last element is array or array name or the variable name of the array of 4. So the last one, let's say 4. So the last element, which is the array variable of 4 or index 4. So this is the index, this is the array variable. Now, with the array, we usually use the for loop to access all the array elements. So we will use this for loop. I will transfer this text, so Control X, Control V. Then I will change this to I. Now, in the for loop, it will take the array element of 0, array element of 1, array element of 2, array element of 3. If you put the size of the for loop more than the size of the array, then you will get an undefined variable or undefined values. So this should be the same size of the array. So if you have the array of 5, then you need, or 5 elements in your array, then you need the array of 5, or the for loop should be 5. Now the last element will be 4 because it is less than 5, not less than or equal. The other thing that I need to change is the X location of the text, so to avoid having the values one over the other. So I will change it with the I value, so I multiply it by 100. Let's see. Now the first value is 22, 33, the first value 22, second one 33, third one 44, and so on. Okay, so we accessed each element in the array using or by changing the I value or the index value and by using the for loop. We usually use the for loop with the array. I'm going to delete this space. Now let's try something else. Now, if we have an array of colors, for example, or anything that is not a number, in this case, we need, so let's change this to an array of color. The equal sign, the opening and closing brackets, the semicolon, then we need the array element. Let's say we have 4 array elements. So 1, comma, 2, comma, 3, comma, 4, comma, 5. And the last one, we don't put comma because it is the last one and we are going to close the bracket. So let's give them some values. So if it is not a number, the items in the array are not numbers, then we need to enclose them between double quotation. So red, green, blue, black. You can choose any color. This is just an example. Pink. Okay, now let's try to print this and see. We have an error. Let's read the error so we can know. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 items, and is not defined. Yes, so we change the color. Now, having an error with the programming is a very normal thing, and you just need to fix the error. Now we change the array, which was array of number, to array of color. Now the variable name is array of color. There is no variable name called array of number. That's why it is giving me that this array number is not defined. So we need to change it to be the same variable name here and here. Okay. Now this is index of 0. When I is 0, then we have the red. When I is 1, we have the green. When I is 2, we have the blue. When I is 3, we have the black. And when I is 4, we have the pink. Excuse me. Now let's try to draw like 5 squares. So I'll put the square. Now the first one is the X position. Let's make it 10. The second one is the Y position. And I will change the X position to avoid having the squares one over the other. So I'll multiply it by like 100. Then this is the width and the height of the rectangle. So as you can see, or in the tooltip, it is saying X, Y, width and height. So you can, or with this function that's called rect, you can do both squares and rectangle by changing the width and height. Okay, now let's run and see that the result, we have 5 squares. Now we want to change the color of the squares to be the same colors of the array. Now instead of calling a different color function, so color of black, color of green, color of red, color of blue, I will use a color array of I. Okay, so I will remove this. Then before the text, I will use color of array color of I. Okay, let's see. Now we have, or before drawing the text or displaying the text, we are changing the color of both the text and the square by this function here. And we chose a different color from the array of colors here. Now you can change it, you can make it, you can add more colors, gray for example. You need to change the loop as well, so we'll make it 6. Run. Now we added a new color and so on. You can change the order of the colors. Let's say if we say step 2. Okay, in this case, let's try. In this case, we are increasing I by 2, so we are not printing or we are not using all the elements of the array. We are just using the even elements or the odd elements of the array. Okay, now let's go back to the previous. Plus plus is the usual case and run. So those were two simple examples about the array, and we will continue with more examples about an array. Have a good day.